Alright, today we're going to be going over file structure for Minecraft Datapacks. It's come to my attention that I should probably kind of clarify the importance of file structure and how they all work and just understanding them. I know when I first watched tutorials, I was like, where are they coming up with all these names for these different folders? So I'm going to go over how you can figure out what those names are, how to find them on your own, and what they do, and then the resources for them. So to start off, I'm assuming that you know nothing about all this. So if you go ahead and go to the pause menu, you can go to Options, Resource Packs. You can hit Open Pack Folder, and this is going to open up the Resource Pack folder within Minecraft. If you go back one space, you got the .minecraft folder. Over here, you can then scroll down underneath Resource Packs. Is most likely going to be something called Saves. This is where all your worlds are saved as. So whatever world that you want to test your data packs in, you need to be able to go here. What I'd recommend doing, if you can, is I like to pin folders that I use a lot. So I have the .minecraft folder pinned because I'm in there all the time through data packs. And specific data packs and resource packs I have pinned as well. But once you go ahead and select the world that you're playing on, so the world that I'm playing on is called New Main Test Jamtech. And then inside of there, you'll see a subfolder called Datapacks. And this is where we're going to be creating a new folder for our new data pack that we're going to be playing with. So we're just going to call this our file structure. Okay. Inside of file structure, we need to have at least two files here. The first one is going to be a folder called data. Inside of here is where all the data for the data pack will be stored. And then we need a second file. We're going to make a text document. And this is going to be called pack.mcmeta. And go ahead and delete the trailing data. And press enter. Yep, we want to change it. Make sure you are able to view the the file types. Okay, if you cannot see the file extension for this, the way that you can enable to view it, if you're on Windows 11, if not, you'll have to just Google the method. I forgot how to do it offhand. But you'll go ahead and press View, Show, and make sure you have File Name Extensions selected as on. This will allow you to see the file type, and this is very important when you're just changing files in general. So once we've made this, we're going to go ahead and open this up. And inside is just a blank document. Now you could fill it out normally, but we use generators now, so you can go ahead. I'll leave this in the description. This is the best generating website for Minecraft stuff. All I did was you can search through all the different types of generators. This is a pack.mcmeta generator. If you're not sure what pack format it is, I can also leave the wiki in the description as well. The wiki will always tell you what the updated pack format is. So for data packs, the highest one is 94 for the version of 1.21.11. So our pack format, we're going to put 94. And then our min format, I'm going to also keep it 94. And then max, just in case it gets updated later, I'm just going to put 100. Just make sure your max is greater than the min value, and it'll be fine. As long as the min is 94 and this is just higher than 94, this will work. And then we can go ahead and copy this inside of our pack.mcmeta. We can go ahead and paste it in. Save the file. And then we can head back into here. After that, we have the data. Now inside of here, we can have as many folders as we want. One of them needs a very specific name. Inside we'll need the Minecraft subfolder. So after we make the Minecraft subfolder, our next one is called the namespace. But we don't have to actually call it that. It's just what I'm going to refer to it as. For my example, I'm just going to call this jam. Nice and short. And it has all lowercase letters and no special characters. Underscore is allowed though. So we have Minecraft, and then this is our namespace. We're just going to call it jam. Inside of jam, okay, we can make a lot of different subfolders, and they each have to have a very specific name. So the best way to find all of these is if you already saved your .minecraft, go ahead and go back to that. Or if you didn't already do that, I'll go back to where I just was. I was in here, Datapacks, file structure. So let's say we're back here. You can just go up here and go back to Minecraft. Go back to the Minecraft one. We're going to go ahead and go to versions. Go down to the latest version that you've played. Open that folder. Select the jar. And we can go ahead and show more options. Using 7-zip, I can extract all the files. If you don't have 7-zip, I'd really recommend getting it. It's a free download. It's a very small app. And then we can go ahead and extract all the files. I'm not going to do that because I already did it before. Doing that is just going to generate this folder right here. And there's going to be a bunch of class files, but you can delete all those. All you need is data for this one inside of Minecraft. And then this is the list of almost all of the folders underneath our data pack one that we have for our namespace. So if we go ahead and go back to our data pack here, file structure, data, into the namespace, we can make advancement, banner pattern, cat variant, chat type, all these different things, and there's a couple more. So after looking at all these, well, these are a majority of them, and they're definitely very helpful to take a look at. Specifically, I remember for sure item modifier is not within the base Minecraft, but it is one of the subfolders in here. And another way to kind of take a look at that is if we go back to the GitHub one, and we go ahead and find, let's say, something that we're kind of interested in, like, what is this? So, like, let's take a look at item modifier. Use that as an example. Well, over here, it doesn't really tell us where we can put it in the file structures. We can go ahead and go to the wiki. And inside the wiki, usually somewhere on the top, we can find the file structure. So right over here, right, it even tells you we have the data, our namespace. Underneath the namespace, we have a subfolder called item_modifier, and then the name of our file. So for in context of our data pack, we would just make a new folder, call this item_modifier, and then put in that file right here. Another important thing to note is if we go back to data, inside of Minecraft, what's it called? It's tags with an S. Make a subfolder called tags. Inside of tags is another subfolder called function. And then we have our file type of load.json. Delete the rest. Yep. Another new file. Well, we can just copy this. Rename this to be tick.json. Once we've gone ahead and made load and tick.json, we're going to start to fill this out, and I'm going to go over as I fill some of the stuff out. The importance of what it's actually doing is just a basic function, and hopefully this will be enough to kind of get somewhat of a deeper understanding. So when I'm messing up with some of these files, I'd recommend using an IDE. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. I can leave a link for that in the description as well. To download. It's free, and it makes debugging this so much easier. Once you've gone ahead and downloaded Visual Studio Code, or if you already have it, just go ahead and open it up. And we're going to go ahead and open up our folder. Hopefully you pinned your data pack, or at least .minecraft, so you can open it up a little bit faster. And if you didn't, and you don't know how to get to it from here, you can go ahead and type in %app data %. This is going to open up some of the other folders, and you should see .minecraft inside of there. Underneath saves, and then find the world that you're building your data pack in, Datapacks, and then go ahead and select this folder. Okay, inside of data, we have Minecraft, we have load. This is a very short one, so I'll just go ahead and type it out manually. We start up with some curly brackets, type in values in the quotation marks, have a nice colon, square bracket. Inside of here, another more quotation marks. This is our namespace, so this should be whatever is underneath data. And that isn't the Minecraft one. This is your namespace, right? So we have namespace, colon, and then the location of where our load function is going to be. So I'll give two different examples. So we're just going to have load, comma, and then jam test /load. Okay. And then for tick, go ahead and copy this, paste this, and just change that to tick. And then we'll create, we'll call this hey, just for a different name thing. Okay, and then inside of our namespace, we're going to need another folder called function, right? As you can see, function, they kind of tie together. The tags is a way for Minecraft to read. So inside of this, we're saying we're going to have a tick.mc function is the file type. New file is load.mc function. Underneath function, we can create a folder, and we said one was going to be called hey, and then hey was tick, yeah. So underneath hey, new file, tick.mc function. Or you know what? Let's call this kick.mc function. And then inside of my tick, I'm just going to change this to be, oh, I already forgot. Yeah, kick. And then let's change load as well to something else as well. Let's just call this main. And then inside of function, I'll go over why we're doing that in a second. After we create our folder, let's create another file called main.mc function. Okay, I kind of feel like I went all over the place there, so let's break it down. Inside of load, this doesn't need to be called this. That's why I just called it main over here. We can make the name whatever we want. These have to be called load and tick.json. So these names are very important that they match exactly. Inside of your namespace, though, underneath function has to be exactly like that. However, everything underneath this can have a custom name, whatever you want, with the same naming rules as the namespace, which I would just recommend sticking to all lowercase and underscores are all work. So underneath function, we have subfolders. So we have our namespace, and it's always a colon, and then it's where the file is located inside of what it's reading. So right now we're reading functions. So we're assuming that we're already in the function folder. So we're looking at the namespace, and then we're assuming we're in the function folder. So underneath function, how do I get to this file? Well, load is directly underneath function, and we can visually see that when we're inside of our data pack. We go to our jam function, right? We can see load right there. So that's why we're putting it right there instead of having a slash in front of it, because the other one is hidden underneath a subfolder called test. That's where main is located. Hopefully that makes sense. And then we can have more functions in here, and we don't need to put them in like reference inside of any of these two folders. These two behave in a very specific way, where every time you load up the world or you type /reload in Minecraft, any of the files that are in here are gonna run. So to show this, we'll just do the load for now. So we have load. We're just gonna say world. Oh, whoops. Say world load. And in this one, we're gonna say hi world. So if we go ahead and go back into Minecraft, type /reload. There we go. That took a little second. But we see both of the things loaded just once. And I can type /reload again, and it ran another time. Just once whenever I ran the reload, or if I were to join back into the world. This might say it before I join, though. Yeah. It does run when you join the world, but for chat stuff, you join the world before you can actually see it. So it's not the best example, but it does work. You just have to take my word for it, I guess. So like if you were to load something up in a world where you don't have any perms, it will still run. You just, if it has chat stuff, I would add a delay to it. With the /schedule function command, you can add a delay as well. So back inside of here, the next one to look at is ticks. This runs 20 times a second in Minecraft, so if I were to do say hi and type /reload, you're going to see it's flooded the chat because it's running so fast. So those two both have special uses, and then the other functions are only called, or are only going to get run when called upon with the /function command. And you can embed that in the load or the tick inside of here. So if I wanted to be like, well, you know, execute as all the players, run function, you know, whatever function I want to run, this will run every tick as well without me putting it in here. Hopefully I didn't over-explain everything, but that's kind of going to do it for now. It can be a lot if you have absolutely no idea what you're going into. But I think I'm going to have a data pack to download in the description, where it's just going to be all empty with just all the different subfolders you can have. And then I'll just change this back to be namespace and just rename it inside of there and inside of these two spots as well. And hopefully that's enough to get you guys started.